And now the glue's all set in those plugs that I put into the runners. They need to be trimmed off level. And now let's try it all together, make sure it all fits. Now the end panels have been trimmed, they fit neatly alongside the runners and it all looks as if it was meant to be there. See how part of the slot in the tenon pokes through the hole? I'll make a little tapered wooden peg to go through there to hold it tight. I'll reshape this flat surface at the bottom with a cutout to create 2 feet for it to stand on. But now it's time to clean up the end pieces and get rid of the rest of the brown varnish off of these corners and the feet and so on. I'll finish off the edges with a plane, just plane them at 45 degrees. It just finishes them off and makes them look nice. Use an old wooden spoke shave to get into the corners where the plane can't reach. The corners just look neat and tidy if you chamfer them off at 45 degrees. I'm just planning the cutouts in the legs and I'm looking at this piece I cut off. I think it'll be good to keep the same radius of curve because it'll keep things in proportion. So I'll do a sneaky and I'll just use the piece that I cut off as a template to draw the curve for the cutout. Once again using the coping saw to do the curves. and finishing it off with some sandpaper. And there, that's the second one done. Here I've drawn out the shape of some brackets that I'm going to cut out and make and fit between the bottom of the seat and the legs. These should make it stronger and better able to cope with the rough and tumble of everyday life. Once again I counterbored the screw holes so that I can put little oak plugs in at the end to cover up the screw heads. I've made some little tapered wooden pegs to go through the slots in the end of the tenons, and now we'll just put it all together just to make sure that it all works before we screw and glue the last two bits on. And now we're ready to put it all together. And here I'm using some more of those little oak plugs to cover up the screw heads. And there it is, all glued up, ready for final sanding and polishing. Can't wait to see what that grain looks like when it's finished. Using the cabinet scraper again to give a really nice smooth finish on the top. And there you can see close up of how the grain's been brought up beautifully with the scraper. I like to work out in the open-sided lathe shed where I've got the nice views and the birds for company and everything, but it's just starting to rain and I don't want the rain blowing in onto the wood where I'm polishing. This time I've had to move into the workshop to do the polishing. I love this part. I always try to use pieces of wood that I think are going to look good, but it's only really now when you start putting the polish on that you see the benefit of all the work you've put into it and how lovely it's looking. See that, how lovely that's coming up. There it looks really, really nice. That's not bad after just one coat of polish. Luckily, I've not long made a new batch of my beeswax and olive oil polish. It takes quite a bit of polish to cover a piece of furniture like this, and it takes a surprising amount of time too, getting it into all the corners and all the nooks and crannies and making sure that everywhere's got a good covering. All of the furniture I make has several coats of the polish. Let's draw a veil over the next hour or so. And here it is, all nicely polished up. Looking good now, it's mellowed into a really nice honey gold colour. And of course, with a bench, you need a table. I made this long oak trestle table a while back, and I thought it might look good teamed up with a new bench, so I dragged it out of the back of the workshop and put it up and set it next to the bench, and I think they make a nice pair. Similar grain, similar colour, looks good together. Unlike the bench, the table is made to be dismantled for easy transport for reenactors to take it to and from events, and there's another video somewhere on my site which shows me taking it apart, showing you how easy it works. And here it is paired up with another little oak table. Notice how the grain on the top of the two complements each other. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. There's lots more stories and pictures and information on my website. Send me a comment if there's anything you'd like to see videoed.